might get in the way of their desires.
Or if the baby grows up into a man who commits a crime worthy enough of death, then the state can decide whether or not to kill him, because life is sacred, but at certain points in their life, right?
Or, well, no, I think it's just when people are pregnant, we refer to, the woman carrying the fetus as a baby, because we recognize that if she's pregnant and she has not had an abortion yet, that there is going to be a person there. There is going to be a baby. And so we just preemptively treat it as such.
Yeah, pretty much. Or better yet, like why not use birth control, because life begins at erection. Anyway, enough of that banter. Welcome one and all to Drama Muhammad Day, the hangout hosted by Wolf King. The reason why we celebrate this joyous day is as a result of not as a result, as a backlash against radical Islamic fundamentalism, where novels and cartoons are demanded to be banned through threat of violence or intimidation or some nefarious means, promoting a so-called religion of peace while trying to trample upon the first world constitutional democracy, which is the right to free speech. Being an advocate of that and a lover of blasphemy, I decided to host a hangout to have a discussion on such matters. I know Simon Drag are roasting on Ronald McDonald, true empiricism, and Antonio dumb puppet ass, but it kind of gets old over time. It's like kicking the crippled kid. I mean, but then again, I mean, what the hell do I know? I went 3 rounds with Darwin's deity trying to beat friggin' basic beliefs into his head, and it's hard as hell. But so I guess we got to pick your battles. Doc, what do you think of Drama Muhammad Day?
I'm conflicted over it. I understand the message behind it is that you have the extremists who take things too far and want to kill anybody who says anything negative about Islam or depicts the Prophet Muhammad, which they ought not do. At the same time, yeah, it is to deliberately offend people. And there are people who have no intention of killing anyone that, yeah, they take offense to it. At the same time, fuck those people. I'm allowed to make fun of your religion. You can't expect not to be offended and go through the entirety of your life not being criticized, not having someone saying something insulting. You're going to have to deal with it if you're going to be a member of a productive and cooperative society.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the reality of the situation, right? I mean, if you're talking about your religion is a religion of peace, and the most far right extremists in your camp are trying to cut people up because they criticize your religion through either an article or a piece of art or something like that, then it needs to be scrutinized in an open forum. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. I mean, you're just if you're saying one thing but you're doing the other, like the complete opposite, I mean, you're just being contradictory. I think that does need to be called out. I mean, Islam isn't a race; it's an ideology. I mean, that's the only true bigoted thing I think one could do with a Muslim is try to ban them out of the conversation, like with the Trump administration, what they're trying to do. But I think we have every right to criticize the ideology. I mean, welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games, so. If you want to claim that Muhammad was the most perfect human being, even though he was a warlord that liked little girls and shit like that, then I think you could handle like a few quips and a few parodies of that.
Well, that kind of reminds me of something that the Center for Inquiry did here a couple of years ago, which was they just posted a bunch of billboards around the province with Bible passages on them. And people took great offense to it. And most notably, the people who took offense to it were Christians and Christian groups. Except these came directly from the Bible. So the thing that they were actually offended by was Bible passages. Similarly, pointing out to a Muslim that, well, in the Hadiths, yes, Muhammad married Aisha at the age of 9 because 7 was too young. That's a clear case of pedophilia. Yes, there are Muslims who think that while Muhammad was God's last chosen prophet, he wasn't perfect and that he could still sin and did things that were wrong. The vast majority of them think that, no, this was entirely acceptable given that cultural time. We now know that, no, this was not acceptable by any stretch of the imagination. And yet they take offense to bringing up the fact that he married a 9-year-old. Well, it's the thing that actually offends you is your own religion. It's not us pointing it out.
I think what bothers them is the fact that we do point it out to them, and they just don't like the context that we're using it. We're using it to show the like just the harmful effects that their view holds, and they just
if they're previously aware of it and they were fine with it, or maybe they personally wrestled with it, and you point it out to them, they shouldn't really have any more real qualms with that. But maybe it could be raising it up to inform other people about it. That might offend them. That, no, look, they basically followed the teachings of a pedophile. And it's like, they might take offense to that because you're spreading that message to others. In which case, sorry, it's in your religion. This is something that you treat as historical fact.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Pseudo, how you doing, dude?
All right.
This is the Drama Muhammad Day 2017 hangout. What do you think of it?
I just got here. I don't know.
No, well, not
is
that.
Draw Muhammad even still a thing?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. I didn't know people still did that. It's kind of like the Macarena, I guess.
Yeah, you got to keep your blasphemy holidays classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't actually started as a holiday or as blasphemy.
Well, I mean, it's considered blasphemy. I remember there was a case where they actually had a depiction of Muhammad on the Congress building, and there was actually a group of Muslims that were all like, "Oh, this offends us. We wanted to take it down," but they were all like, "No, like that would be against the First Amendment."
Well, it is blasphemous, and the person who really initiated the whole Draw Muhammad Day is still in hiding. He's still in protective custody because of
It started. A girl on Facebook started it.
Well, she started it, and then some YouTuber.
Then somebody went boom with it because they appropriated what she did, and now they get the shitstorm.
Yeah.
And she got to walk away free.
Yeah, but he's in protective custody because he's still getting death threats to this day.
Yeah.
Hang on, I gotta get the.
You okay? The image of Muhammad is in a frieze on the U.S. Supreme Court building. And it's been there for a long time, apparently.
Having trouble figuring out how to unmute there, Wolf. So, Pseudo, where's Roy Montoro hanging his hat nowadays?
Is that a yes or no question that's going to get me banned?
Okay, no, the conversation's over. You refuse to answer the question. But no, seriously, where's that guy trolling around now?
I have no idea. I think he's banned so many people he can't get into rooms.
Wow.
You see, that's why you don't ban people, because when you start doing it, it just limits where you can go.
Well, the stupid thing was,
it doesn't limit where the person you banned goes, because they can always get in. It limits you because now you can't get in because there's somebody in there who you banned and you don't want to associate with, so the Google Plus won't let you in.
Basically.
And then you get
stupid reasons.
Then you basically get something that's happened to a few people who have banned people where they want to get into popular rooms. They get the link, they go to join, and they can't get in. And they can't figure out why they can't get in and why it says somebody in this room has you banned, or like somebody, you've been blocked somehow. And they can't figure out why they can't get in. And then they demand, when they figure out who has them blocked, or rather who they blocked, that person unblock them. And it's like that person can't unblock you because they don't have you blocked.
I've had that experience a couple times with Antonio.
Yeah. Well, I've actually had it with a few different people who blocked me, and then when they want to come in, they can't get in, and they can't figure out why they can't join. And then when it's finally explained to them, they refuse to unblock me.
Yes.
But they still demand that I unblock them.
Well, it's like, for me, I was commenting in Antonio's live chat, and he says, like, oh, why don't you join the room? And I say, I can't, because he can't see my messages. He can't send me an invite because Antonio had me blocked. But other people are relaying my messages to him. And he says, well, why does he come in here and defend it? And I say, because you have me blocked.
He is so dumb. Like, he doesn't...
He is a child.
No. That's a special ed child. Fuck that.
Exactly. Like, he is physically an adult, but intellectually he is a child.
He's a special ed child in a 31-year-old virgin's body. I'm literally not even making that up.
Oh, I have a terrible race joke.
Go for it.
No. It's all about free speech, man.
He has to sit at the back of the short bus.
Oh my god. That's funny. It works on so many levels.
Well, no, the terrible thing about it was, have you ever seen Dumb and Dumberer? The sequel to Dumb and Dumber?
They got a short bus.
Yeah, like, oh my god, we have a short bus. Every seat is the back of the bus. That's where the cool kids sit.
No, they had a short bus, though. It was a short bus, and a portion of it had been removed, reducing its wheelbase. You literally got on, and there was like 2 rows of seats.
Jim Carrey is so retarded.
Well, that wasn't Jim Carrey in that movie.
Oh, who was it?
I don't even know. Like, the first Dumb and Dumberer wasn't the original cast. And then they made the appropriate sequel to it, where Jim Carrey pretended to be in like a mental institution for 10 years or something, before springing that it was all a prank.
And then they went on a cross country journey to find the one of their supposed daughters for like I don't know, like a kidney transplant, and all of that turned out to be one elaborate flank by the blonde one. I just, as I'm looking at this, I realize I love bullshit. I love like these retarded like looking movies. Just pure insanity. But I was reading this study. I think this university got out. Apparently, it was based on a consensus of 63, yeah, 63 studies, where it it shows that statistically, atheists are more intelligent than religious fundamentalists. The age varies, and
How do you measure that, though?
it varies with age and also being able to be more open to ideas and learning and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it can also
But
just come down to level of education as well.
yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I mean, they did the study at the college, so it was like
Yeah.
it sort of depended on like that sort of environment.
And what were the questions on the test
Let's see.
when you did your study, right?
Yeah,
Like if you design an intelligence test correctly, you could take the same people and they'll either pass or fail based on the questions.
I remember taking an IQ test that was originally tailored to like American kids because they were all questions. A lot of the questions were about like American presidents. I
Yeah.
had no idea about that.
Yeah.
But like general knowledge tests, like
Yeah, if you remove questions like that and just go with math, language, spatial relationships, things like that, then you can measure things. But if you're using questions which are more trivial and trivia type questions, then that's based on your education, what you're exposed to, what you read.
well, at the same time, I would say like
okay, here's the study.
there is kind of a distinction that you can make between intelligent and knowledgeable, but yeah, it's not surprising that fundamentalists in the United States are less knowledgeable than many of their counterparts, partly because they command a great majority of the people who are homeschooled.
I would say it's because when they go to a library, they tend to stick to one section of the library, not the other sections of the Dewey Decimal System,
Well, that kind of
which stunts their base of knowledge they can collect from.
well, it's part of it too. Like if you were, I actually was the sole friend of someone who was homeschooled by a young Earth creationist family, and they know fuck all about anything. Ask them who the prime minister is, they have no idea. Ask them who the first prime minister was, they have no idea. Ask them basic math questions, they have no clue because their schooling basically consisted of I'm going to put this, like Kent Hovind DVD into the DVD player and you're going to sit there and watch it.
Yeah. And I was going to say Ken Hovind doesn't do math DVDs, does he?
No, that actually requires work.
Yeah. See, I don't care if someone homeschools their kids, but they should have to take tests that are not handed out by it should be tests that are used in schools.
Yeah,
so you then have to cover certain levels of curriculum.
It's like, yes, there is a situation wherein homeschooling is appropriate, especially like if the child excels well beyond what the school can offer them. I think.
Yeah. But then you have to still provide an environment that keeps that acceleration.
Yeah. Well, it's like at the same time, there is a kind of negative drawback of that. There's an actual example of John Stuart Mills, who was a famous philosopher, was homeschooled by his parents and was fluent in Latin Italian and French, and by the age of 5, by the age of 12, he was basically at a graduate level and could enter into college. And by the age of 20, he had a mental breakdown.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, but do you also get the same social development too?
No, he didn't. And people don't. Like, people who are homeschooled, unfortunately, school is often where we experiment with and learn about social interactions with our peers. And if you're homeschooled and you're not surrounded by your peers, you're going to be deprived of that. And it does actually inhibit your ability to form relationships later on in life if you don't have appropriate exposure. Like, there are other things that they could get you exposed to. They could enroll you in like gymnastic or like some karate class or something in your age group, and you can be exposed that way.
Let's say the homeschool kids who are religious, their peer group then would become other homeschooled kids from their church.
Pretty well.
So their peer group is still within their bubble. Where going to a school, your peer group is kids from all over who aren't necessarily from your bubble. You learn now from that.
Well, most peer groups are within a particular
bubble.
Well,
no, it's the group that you have to work with isn't from the same group. You have interactions with different. You may form a group of friends within the school, but the school itself is made up of multiple different groups, and you interact between them.
Yeah, and in public school, maybe. Mm-hmm. Like, I went to Catholic school, so everyone in there, yeah, we were all of the same bubble, basically.
Yeah. So where'd Wolf go? Did he just mute himself or take off?
I don't know. It sounds like he might be having mic problems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's probably just chatting away there and goes, "Oh shit, I'm still muted."
Yeah, he's probably been commenting on everything we've been saying so far, and that's what he gets for using a Mr. Pickles icon.
Or maybe he opened up this hangout, even though he's watching the Salmon Drag review.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing that. There's not much there to review. I watched the whole hour and a half of it.
Yeah.
It's just the same old Ronnie shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Ronnie just repeats himself after a while, and it gets boring to hear.
Well, for a while there, he seemed to have gone back to philosophy after his debate with Steve McRae and, slightly preceding it. But he seems to have dropped that again and just gone back to, well, you can't demonstrate the mechanism of evolution.
Yeah.
And like it's very easy to show that he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about if you just ask him which mechanism are you referring to,
Yeah.
and he's just going to draw a fucking blank because he doesn't understand that natural selection is a mechanism. That genetic drift
Look,
is a mechanism.
he doesn't understand any of it. That's the point. Is he does not understand any of what he's not even just what others are saying, even what he says at times.
I would love to spend a day within just looking into what he thinks and just how chaotic it is. Like, I genuinely don't think he thinks. I think just words fall out of his mouth in some random order.
Yeah. I've seen videos of him that he made a long time ago, and he's walking around the house or apartment in a bathrobe. He looks like he just took a shower or just woke up or something. And it was like 3 or 4 videos, and they're days apart. So either he's making them at the same time every day, and that's why he's wearing the bathrobe, or he really doesn't get dressed and just walks around in a bathrobe when he's home. But what I noticed is,
To be fair, that's what I do. If I'm home and I'm not going out anywhere,
yeah, but if you're gonna make a video, you take the effort to at least brush your hair and get dressed.
No,
so you don't sit around in a bathrobe. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'll brag.
Yeah, but he would sit on the couch, and you could see the coffee table and the shelf behind him and part of the floor, and it was just covered in junk. Like it's like he's been sitting on the couch for 3 days.
I mean, what about Von Helton's place? I mean, like, riddled with
Yeah, well,
garbage.
that's just a slob hole, and he's different. The point is, there was a pile of like loose leaf paper on the floor, and a 1 liter Dr. Pepper bottle, and it was there for 3 days. In each video. And it's not like it's in the same position. It was moved around. So it's been moved. He's aware that it's there, and he's gone and dug through stuff and just knocked the bottle around.
So basically, either that or he's drinking warm Dr. Pepper, which isn't A, good for you, or B, tasty.
Why is warm Dr. Pepper not good for you?
Any warm carbonated drink apparently is bad. Well, just any carbonated drink in general is not good for you. But apparently, if they're warm, it's even worse.
Why is that?
I don't know. My aunt just told me that you should not drink them warm. She's a doctor, and I just do what she says.
Okay, so you're just accepting them. Okay.
Yeah. She's not steered me wrong before.
Wow, I didn't realize the temperature of that could. Yeah, I guess it's the metabolize, wouldn't it?
No, I remember it now. It has something to do with aspartame. If it's diet and it has aspartame in it, its aspartame turns carcinogenic at about 2 degrees below body temperature. So if you drink it, you're drinking basically a cancerous substance. That's what it is.
So 2 degrees below body temperature.
Yeah,
so making your Diet Coke cold is just
when you're
making it worse.
ingesting it, by the time it breaks down, it's not reached below the temperature or something like that. It's all right. Like, you ought not ingest aspartame in general. Like, it's just bad for you.
So why do we use it?
Because we're idiots.
Yeah, okay, it falls in the same line of why do we make Q-tips, why do we make homeopathic remedies. Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Wow.
it doesn't make sense why we use aspartame. I think maybe it's cheaper than using saccharin or something like that. And saccharin is a natural sweetener. It's not like aspartame. It's not really carcinogenic. Yes, it's still bad for you in large quantities, but so is sugar and anything else. But saccharin is better than sugar. It isn't carcinogenic like aspartame, but we don't use it for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I remember listening to the whole true empiricism and Antonio debate, and it is just awful.
Well, come on, Rick, really.
Come on.
It's like he's just brought up Shannon information. I don't think True has the faintest idea of what the hell that even refers to.
Mm-hmm.
It's also entirely inconsistent with what he proposes. So,
Yeah.
I think Wolf might be having some connection issues.
Yeah, it looks like he is.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen then if Ronnie ever loses all of his channels because he gets flagged by stupid people flagging him?
Well, I've been thinking about that because Floyd, a week prior to Ronnie being porn bombed, was himself porn bombed, and I was in that hangout, and Jake and I walked Floyd through how to delete the hangout so that he wouldn't get flagged for having porn up on his channel. True empiricism got flagged for having porn on his channel.
Actually, I'd like people to start recording, like at least taking note of something. Names of accounts that are used by porn bombers.
I have already.
They do.
I have an archive of that.
Yeah.
Trinix X is a porn bomber. Outbound is a porn bomber. So is Down Corner.
No. I want the accounts that show up.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Like you can give me names, and I'll like agree with. Like if you tell me someone's a porn, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't deny that.
No, these are the accounts that end up joining the Hangouts. I keep a record of them.
Yeah, because I've seen I've seen somebody who did a hangout. Now, yes, they put the link out there for everyone to get, and yes, the trolls started showing up and porn bombing, but not porn bombing, just like showing up and saying racist crap or having funny icons and stuff. And it's the same ones I've seen show up in Steve's hangouts. It's the same ones I've seen show up in other hangouts.
Yeah, mostly the ones that show up in Steve's Hangouts when he does like the moderator hangout where it's 25 people are allowed in the hangout.
Mm-hmm.
That's Down Corner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What a fucking loser! I didn't even remember that. But going back, I mean, the thing that was fucked up about Ronnie's hangout is he was dumb enough to put the link in the live chat.
Well,
which is like, I mean, you're asking for trouble.
Isn't much of a problem if you don't broadcast the people you are unfamiliar with, and if you remove them immediately from the outside chat.
Yeah.
But the problem was with Ronnie was,
oh, there's someone here to talk to me. I'll let them in. Oh, yeah. Hello.
I'll let anyone in. Oh no, they sniped me. I'll start another hangout. I won't bother ending the previous one or deleting the previous video.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep talking on this one. And it was up for like 5 minutes after it was porn bombed.
Yeah.
That
and there's people who go in, do that shit with the intentions of actually just coming back and flagging it.
Yeah, like that's the example I was getting to with the Floyd hangout, which was Floyd got porn bombed. We told him to set it to private immediately. He set it to private. It was no longer broadcasting. Then we showed him how to delete it since he wanted to delete it. Not enough time for anyone to flag it, and even if it was flagged, the video doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. Ronnie left it up. It was flagged. It had been porn bombed, and he left it up. and YouTube reviewed it.
Yeah.
You can't really comprehend the depth of that stupidity. It's like people in his other hangout were telling him, "No, this guy porn bombed you. You need to take that video down," and he refused to take it down. He's like, whatever. I'll do it afterwards. After this hangout, I'll delete it. No, delete it right then. Otherwise, your channel is going to get banned. And what happens? Oh, he gets a 6-month suspension from Hangouts.
Yeah, because you left it hanging there for long enough for YouTube to come and review it. Where if you would have gone and just removed it completely, then YouTube would have come along and said, oh, the video is gone. Well, we don't need to worry about this. However, YouTube and Google Plus should start looking into, okay, if someone does get porn bombed, let's see who did it. You may get your video removed, obviously, because of the content, but you're not the one who gets the strike.
However,
you're not the one who gets the strike. They're going to start investigating who does it because we know it's a small group of people.
Yeah, but they also don't have like the resources, manpower, or anything like that to actually go in depth into looking into every single instance of porn bombing.
No, you just take the first one you find.
Yeah.
Look at it and then say, okay, these are the channels. Where does it all link back to? Ban all those channels. And then maybe the whole thing will stop. Because we know it's a very small group of people. Right?
They could just stop it by not allowing video on Hangouts.
Yeah.
That'd be the easiest way that they'd probably take.
Hey guys,
the
check this
problem
out.
is that because of corporate usages.
Yeah.
Is that your Muhammad?
Yep. This is my Muhammad.
It's kind of out of focus there.
He looks like the teacher from Assassination Classroom.
Yeah. and why do his hands kind of look, when he's holding them up like that, why do they kind of look like a menorah?
That's the ironic thing because Muslims hate Jews. Aren't very fond of them. Lahayim. It's Muhammad. Allah Akbar.
All the snack bar.
Allah snack bar.
Almond snack bar.
Yeah, I want to be consistent in this because, like, I'm blasphemous towards all religions. I don't give a damn.
Yeah. That's really, really grainy and out of focus. I don't even think you can tell what that is. It's just getting worse. It's just getting worse. Can't even make out the text on it.
Yeah. It works for what I need it for.
Yeah. It's kind of up there with those Nixon tapes.
As long as like free speech and free expression is there, like it's all good.
Yeah. It looks like a shitty version of this, basically.
What is Assassination Classroom?
It's a messed up show.
Is it anime?
Yes.
That explains it.
Basically, a group of middle schoolers are offered $32 million if they can successfully kill their teacher who destroyed 70% of the moon. And he decided, I'm going to teach middle school.
And that's the teacher?
Yeah. Tentacle rape monster there.
And wait, he's called Tentacle Rape Monster, and you're going to allow him to teach middle school students?
He's not called Tentacle Rape Monster. He doesn't have a name, and then they give him, like, Octopus Man as a name.
And how did he destroy the moon?
He's basically a government experiment gone wrong that has the power to destroy the whole planet. And so he destroys 70% of the moon and then decides, I'm going to teach a bunch of kids. And by the way, to strike a deal with the government, he says, you can train these kids to be assassins, and if they can kill me, the Earth won't be destroyed. But until then, I'm going to teach them math and science.
Hold on. How did he get to the moon, though? How did he get to the moon?
He can run at Mach 20.
So he basically ran up a mountain and jumped.
He just jumped. Like, it's a super entity.
It's an anime.
It's such a stupid anime.
It's an anime. Okay, don't. Why do you ask these questions when the answer is it's an anime?
Because it depends on the variety of fucking anime. Did he take a ship? Did he did he fly up there? I don't know. I had to
It's
ask.
comedy action anime, is what it is.
It's a
Comedy action
yellow
sci-fi.
octopus with a smiley face emoji teaching middle school. And
Look,
you want to know how he got to the moon?
hey, it could be interesting. You know, who knows? I didn't know it was a One Punch Man deal.
Okay, One Punch Man, you can't even make that comparison. One Punch Man is just explained by being a direct parody of Dragon Ball Z because power levels are bullshit. And that's
Well,
it.
what the hell was that a parody of? Assassination Classroom.
Nothing. It was basically the guy who thought it up was he remembered having really good teachers in middle school and in high school. And then he remembered having teachers that, he would want to kill. So he thought up, what if the government had offered me to kill a really, really bad teacher? And he came up with this idea.
Yeah.
It's merging a fond memory with a morbid fantasy. That's it.
That's actually pretty decent. I'd like to watch that.
It is actually a pretty decent show. I love it. It's so stupid, but you need a bit of stupid in your life.
Okay, this is a new Pew report. Few Americans take the Bible to be literal. Like few Americans are taking the Bible as a serious book.
Okay.
It was actually pretty cool. I mean, it's not really surprising given that, like the newer generation, like millennials, are highly non-religious. I mean, shit. Who knows? Maybe they'll fucking take that arc down. That whole Ken Ham bullshit.
No, it's going to become a hotel.
Yeah, probably.
And then from there, it'll die. Because, like, literally, it is in the middle of nowhere. If you go there, there's nothing to do.
Yeah, it's Kentucky.
Other than go. No, what I'm just saying is, other than going there, there's nothing to do. And
I mean, you could probably tease Von Helton. I mean, who knows?
I read reviews on not the Ark experience, but the restaurant that's on the property. And someone pointed out that the first time they went, it was great. But they did notice that there was an upstairs dining room that was completely closed and unused. So there was obviously they were expecting a lot more people. The second time they went, which was months later, why they went twice, I don't know. They noticed that the restaurant was of poorer quality, the food wasn't all that great, and even looks like it's been left out since the first day. It was a shame because of the lack of other food venues around the area. So basically, that's what's causing it to. It's not the attendance; it's everything else that has to be there to support it that is going to truly kill it. You will never get somebody coming back a second time. Which is actually kind of sad. Here's something you could do, guys. I just had a thought.
What about a flat Earth museum or something like that?
No. You know how there's
That'd be
always
terrible.
animal rights protest groups in PETA, and they always have an issue about how like zoo animals or farm animals are caged or kept, and how big their enclosures are.
Yeah.
Now, I know that the animals in the Ark Encounter are just models. They're just like fiberglass and plastic and maybe fun fur. But you point out that some of these animals' enclosures are too small and inhumane. And even the floor grates are bad for the animals' feet. And they will get deformed feet from standing on them for such a period.
I don't think creationists factor in fact and logic into when they're making their predictions. I mean, they just interpret it differently. They got this. We have the same evidence. We just interpret it differently. We actually, believe in testing models and theory and mathematics and stuff like that. They believe in magical talking snakes and 1,000-year-old men and friggin' and burning bushes and
Yeah, but
and
Wolf, I'm sorry, but look at any other religion too. They have weird things like that in it too in their stories.
yeah. I mean, that's my point. I'm not saying it's unique in that regard. I'm just saying that when people construct these myths, it's not really a matter. I mean, sure, it's trying to account for something, but when it comes to the predictive model, like the explanatory power of it, it's just really lacking there. But that's sort of like the necessity of it. It's just making shit up, and that's the liberty with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I mean, just look at with Trump and the whole Comey thing. I mean, he's been trying to make up shit to cover that his connection with Russia for the longest time, for months on end.
Mm-hmm.
He's just making bullshit up, trying to create this, this myth that there's no link to it.
Yeah, I saw a meme picture on Facebook. It's got Trump at his desk with his cell phone. He's twittering something, and behind him is Boris Badenoff and Natasha Nogudnik. And Boris says, "Tell him fake news. It's a story put out by Moose and Squirrel."
It's all fake news and slander. They're not tremendous. They're losers. They think they can mess with the greatest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm making America great again. We're still gonna build that wall, and we're gonna take out Obamacare and just make it more for rich people and less for poor people. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna attack countries where they're fighting each other, like with ISIS and stuff like that. Even though it's a win-win for us, I'm acting in national security. All that bullshit.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I'm not sure how true it truly is, but I've heard that the White House staff have issues with Trump walking around in a bathrobe into inappropriate areas.
Did he try to grab anyone by the pussy?
I haven't heard that yet.
Jesus, what a sideshow!
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, his daughter's pretty hot.
Oh, he would agree with you.
Yeah, I believe he would. Got some nice tits.
I didn't say that.
Yeah. Well, see, we can say that because we don't share a gene pool with her.
Yeah.
That and we believe in consent. We don't believe in playing grab ass because it's fun.
Yeah. Well, playing grab ass is one thing. Playing consensual grab ass, no, that's.
Yeah, and I heard Michael Moore is trying to rake in on the whole Trump, like bashing Trump brigade.
I want to see him make a movie about Trump.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be nice. Just see how bad he fucked over America. I mean, there is some good stuff that actually came out. Vermont is on its way to legalizing marijuana. So it doesn't really matter what Jeff Sessions bitch ass say. Like, he's not going to stop the movement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like with the gay marriage thing, right? I mean, like principles of individuality and freedom and liberty. Like these things matter. Like it's just going to be represented like from one state to the next. Next thing you know, all 50 states will be able to do it, and it'll stop being Schedule 1. It's got some heavy competitors, but this could only bring a lot of benefits to our economy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and looking at Trump personally, I mean, I can't. I mean, it's obvious that the motherfucker like smokes. I mean, like his eyes are all they're like almost closed all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't know any better, I believe he'd be from China. China. Grabbing by the China.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm. How's Canada? How's Trudeau?
Not bad. I haven't had an issue.
He's been SJWing up the country.
Not really.
It was weird. Like the month prior to his election and being like prime minister, right? Like people were building up his hype as being like too on the sensitive left or something, or the.
Yeah, but you also got to remember though, we had a choice. It was either him or Harper.
And Montclair.
Yeah.
John Oliver did a great segment on the
Well,
Canadian
really,
election.
Doctor, we don't talk about the NDP because I don't think anyone really votes for them.
You kind of can't say that when they were the government opposition party in the last election.
Yeah.
Like Jack Layton was incredibly popular.
Sorry, we don't vote for them unless we want to punish one of the other two parties and push them to the back.
Fuck you, that's what I say. That's my home team you're talking about.
I know. No, it's when you don't want to vote liberal or conservative and you want to punish them, well, then you vote the NDP up, at least in the second position. Say, screw you guys, smart enough.
There was an actual case where somebody was a legitimate paper candidate, where they didn't canvass neighborhoods, they didn't go door to door, they didn't put up any signs or anything, but their name was just on the ballot because the NDP needed somebody in that riding, and they won in Quebec. Just because it was a protest vote where it was fuck the liberals, fuck the conservatives, fuck the Bloc Québécois.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
NDP.
they had the Bloc. They could have gone there, but no, they didn't.
No, the Bloc got like 2 seats in the last, in the second last election. I don't know how many they got in the last one. Nobody gives a shit about the Bloc.
Yeah. But imagine being the MP who has to go and do that. It's like, yeah, I got to go put my name on a ballot somewhere I don't really want to go. You know, I'm not even going to campaign. It's like, damn it, I won.
Yeah, damn it, I won. Now I'm making $80,000 a year.
No, now I got to move here.
It's not too troubling. If I move for $80,000 a year, yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah, all right, true, yeah. You make your $80,000 and go home.
Just getting back into the spirit of Drop Muhammad Day. I mean, I heard some recent news about Trump giving a speech about Islam in Saudi Arabia on his foreign trip about the radical Islamism and all that. And it's like I can't think of the worst person.
The guy doesn't know who won or lost the Civil War or why it was fought. I'd
I'd be amazed to hear like what he's gonna say. I believe he's probably just gonna pander to them or something like that. Sort of like what he did to Christians.
Look,
Oh,
the,
like
the
not
guy
all,
eats well done steak with ketchup. Come on.
I was going to bring that up. Like, there was a few news outlets that reported that Saudi Arabia is going to have to serve him a well done steak with ketchup. Like, that's what children eat.
Well, he doesn't just eat well done steak with ketchup. He also likes meatloaf, spaghetti, maybe with meatballs. He does like hamburgers.
He also thinks that exercise will kill you.
Well, when you look at it from his perspective, it would, because of all the people he knows at his age. They're all getting hip and knee replacements now.
Well, just general exercise, not like rigorous, like
Well, what it is, okay, what it
bodybuilding
is
shit.
those,
The shit that I do, yeah,
those
I'm definitely going to.
the people he's talking about were all athletic, and they all
Yeah.
probably did things like football.
Well, they all did football, triathlons, and
Triathlons,
these were people who
jogging.
were like trying to aim to qualify for the Olympics and shit like that.
So those people in their old age will have bad knees and bad hips.
Okay,
of the
so this is a
running.
quote. So this is a quote from his cabinet, his group from National Security. Okay, so the speech is going to be inspiring, and it's going to unite Islamic countries against our common enemies, and to show that America has a commitment to its Muslim partners. I'm just flabbergasted at just just the buildup of this. I mean, it's gonna be fucking a lulz fest just to see how he's gonna actually parse this out. I mean, this guy had Muslim bans like on people for like for an intended like 90 days or some shit. Like he tried to reinstate it all the time.
Not against people from Saudi Arabia, though.
Yeah. It's usually in his business ventures. It's usually countries that don't have a history of terrorism against the United States, or at least with the 9/11 incident or the Boston.
You can't say that with respect to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia does have ties to terrorism against the United States.
Yeah, but it wasn't on the ban list ever.
No. It was never on the ban list, and in part because he has a lot of investments and investors from Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
That is funny.
It doesn't matter. I'm just counting down the days until he's no longer president. I'm gonna laugh at y'all when you have President Mike Pence.
That would suck. But what you guys think?
That's the consequence of impeaching Donald Trump.
Like you guys think he's gonna be impeached? When do you think it's gonna happen?
If Donald Trump gets impeached, Mike Pence will become president and put into place very draconian executive orders. He'll allow religious discrimination. He'll prevent. He'll try his best to repeal things like abortion and gay marriage. But if President Trump doesn't get impeached, well, he's going to invade the sea just like Caligula.
Yeah. Anyways, I found an article here on what Trump eats. He likes his steak super well done. And that's even confirmed by his longtime butler. He's a huge fan of McDonald's.
Ugh.
Okay. Oh, you want gross? He's a fan of the Filet-O-Fish Big Mac's quarter
pounders. Fuck.
Yeah, it's the Filet-O-Fish thing.
Dude,
you're a billionaire and you eat a McDonald's. Okay. He washes down his fast food with a soda.
You know, Truman Pearson makes $2,900 a week, and he loves him some Popeyes. That shit is gourmet to him.
Okay. He is afraid of what restaurants might do to his hamburger.
So he goes to McDonald's?
Well, no, think about it. You go to a restaurant and order, they'll go into the kitchen and say who the order's for. You go to a fast food restaurant, you order the hamburger, it slides down the little chute.
Bullshit. I've worked in fast food restaurants
but the guy in the back doesn't know.
With your food.
Yeah, but the guy in the back doesn't know it's your food.
No, the
They'll just look with all the food.
It's your food. If it's just said, this guy is an asshole, rub the bun between your cheeks, they're going to do it.
Yeah. Anyways, and here's two things that he does which are just freakish. He eats fried chicken with a fork.
What is that supposed to be fancy? What the what?
How?
Okay.
Is the chicken too big for his baby hands? Like, what the hell's going on?
Well, when I'm saying fried chicken, I mean KFC.
Yeah, I'm wondering how.
Now, I can understand if you like to dip it in the gravy. All right, you don't want to get it on your hands, but really,
you pour it on the bit you're not
the
holding.
Drumstick is kind of already shaped. I don't want to make a Ray Comfort comment here, but it's kind of already shaped to fit in your hand. But he also eats pizza with a fork.
Oh, fuck him. He can go to hell.
That is retarded. Like, I don't even get the necessity of that. I don't. Like, is he presupposing he's going to need a utensil in every case in all possible worlds and shit?
Well, probably it's because he doesn't look.
He's an atheist.
You don't want to get your hands dirty, right? He doesn't like pizza crust.
Well, who does?
I might eat sometimes. It depends on if it got
He either skips breakfast or chooses indulgent options.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, okay, you can have a healthy breakfast, or you're going to have the 3 scrambled eggs, the bacon, and the other stuff, right?
What's wrong with having brunch every day?
Yeah. Well, his breakfast includes like 2 eggs. He gave the owner 2 thumbs up for his eggs, plus bacon, sausage, hash browns, and 2 biscuits. Okay. So instead of having like a healthy breakfast, that's kind of what he eats, instead of like oatmeal or cereal.
I can't believe we picked this weird fucker to be our president.
Okay, even though he really doesn't like Obama, and by extension Democrats, he eats at the same steakhouse as Bill Clinton.
Well, of course he would. People who have committed sexual assault need to stick together.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That's actually funny because when I was taking a course on canteen ethics, that was brought up as an example of how a deontologist who's a strict adherent to canteen ethics would get around having to tell a lie.
Yeah. Here's one too. You'll never see him order a beer. Trump doesn't drink alcohol and never has. He's even given advice to his children to abstain from drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes.
So who wants to make the prediction
Bullshit.
that Ivanka Trump is going to run in the next election?
You've got to understand, when you're in business, you sign a contract, and a lot of times these kinds of real estate contracts that he's doing are done like they're all discussed and can even be signed over a lunch or a dinner in a restaurant. So if you're signing that while you're under the influence of alcohol, that's why you don't drink.
That's one reason.
It's a legal thing. It's the same. Gene Simmons doesn't drink either. Because your mind won't be.
Okay, Gene Simmons
you're under the influence.
Bad decisions while he's sober.
Yes, like he has done bad decisions, but he doesn't drink or do drugs. And again, it's that there's a level of professionalism with him, and you can't do that when you're under the influence.
I'm going to start that petition now. Gene Simmons for president.
I'm not sure if he can be.
He can't be.
No.
He was born in Israel.
Yeah. Oh, that won't stop him.
I think if you got enough signatures on that, they might change the Constitution. Just cause.
No, they tried that with Schwarzenegger. They wouldn't do it. He's
Yeah,
very
but
picky.
Schwarzenegger was an asshole. Gene Simmons is just awesome,
Yeah. All right.
albeit I'm biased. So,
And he's very picky about his French fries.
yeah, freedom fries.
Has anyone heard of this? We're just gonna take a break.
Wait a second. You're both. It's been like confirmed that there was a Trump went to like a restaurant, and he kept sending the fries back, saying they weren't right. And the head chef eventually sent someone to the store to buy Ora Ida frozen fries. Instead of like hand cutting fries in the kitchen and frying them like you would in a restaurant, in a fancy restaurant. They had to go and buy frozen French fries to serve to him to shut him up.
It's like the asshole who orders, oh, I'm going to have home fries. And so, you slice the potatoes and you throw them in the fryer. You make the fries. They go, oh, these still have the potato skin on them. I don't want that. Send them back. Why the fuck did you order home fries?
He also orders a lot of cheese. He loves his macaroni. He loves his cheese on his cheeseburgers.
Okay, I can't really complain about that.
I can see why Brett Keane loves this guy. Both of them are like fat fucks. Only difference is one is a millionaire and the other one's like living on.
Well, I thought it was because they both slithered in through the same haunted mirror.
Well, some of his food choices, because he does business and he travels so much, I hate to say it, but going to a fast food restaurant, no matter where you go, it's consistent and you typically don't get sick because it's the corporation regulates what's going on.
I don't know.
And you can go pretty much anywhere in the world, and you walk into a McDonald's and order a Big Mac, and you get a Big Mac. You don't walk into a mom and pop greasy spoon and then find out that their hamburgers are, not up to par, and you get food poisoning.
Kind of.
Right.
But at the same time, like if you're a billionaire, you would expect someone to like have the ins about various dining establishments, not just in their home country, but throughout the world.
Or at least to have a little bit of a broader palate, like say like lobster, caviar, just things that are a little more an educated food palate.
Okay, now I'm hoping he comes to Canada and we just serve him like the various dishes that are.
Oh God, no! We have the perfect thing for him. It's got three things legs. Poutine. It's French fries, cheese, and gravy. There you go.
That's Quebec's signature dish. They're like provincial dish.
He can't complain about it. It's they're French fries. You love French fries. It's got gravy on it, and it comes with cheese.
I call it. It's got all the elements he loves. It's got all the basic ingredients.
And no one's going to be offended if you want to put ketchup on it and have a pop with it.
Well, I think it would be fun to watch him chug down some prairie oysters or something like that.
Acceptable to eat it with a fork. No, they probably a lot of foreign dignitaries when they do visit, they don't eat things
native.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's doctor left.
I think he just dropped. He might be back.
That's a phone quake.
But what were you saying?
They don't eat things that are like when they're served things are like that are native because it's a degree of maybe they'll get sick. So
so they're assuming they might get sick because the food is foreign to them. Okay.
Not even that. How's this? I know more about it with the royal family than with world leaders. But when the royal family travels, they bring their own bottled water.
Unless Her Majesty comes to Regina.
Why?
She loves Regina.
Yeah, but does she drink the bottled water?
She doesn't drink the bottled water, but she'll drink straight from the tap, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I don't know why she likes the city so much. It's a shithole.
It's called Regina.
Yeah. It's called Regina, and its football team is the Rough Riders.
Yeah, not to be confused with the Rough Riders.
Yeah. Apparently, they debated between the Rough Riders or the Barebackers.
Yeah.
All of these terms sound like wonderful euphemisms for butt fucking.
Pretty well.
No, it's actually riding horses, and the other Rough Riders were loggers, lumberjacks.
Yeah. Rough
Still
Riders are
pretty
like your free range cattle drive people.
Yeah.
So, but
Mm.
at the same time, if you're rough riding someone in Regina,
Yeah.
yeah. Or if you're barebacking, if you type bareback into Google,
Yeah, don't
you're
do
gonna get
that,
some
Wolf.
nasty ass results.
Don't do that.
I did it once.
I'm just.
You did it once, you won't do it again. Not without safe search.
Here's a fun
Okay.
one. Type in Prince Albert.
No. I already know what that is.
Doctor, stop trying to trick people.
Well,
Could
the
you-
terrible thing is that we have the city Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, and kids from there, when they're in the 4th grade, have to do this project about the history of their city. So they have to type in Prince Albert into Google. Even with say search on, shit's gonna get through.
Hey, I got one where you can look up. Look up Lemon Party.
No.
I know what that
Yeah.
is.
Well, when I type in Prince Albert into Google, first thing on the list on Google is Prince Albert Consort, or Albert Prince Consort, okay, who's the husband to Queen Victoria. Then I get Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. That's number 2. Number 3 on the list of what Google puts on the first page, Prince Albert genital piercing.
Yeah, pierced dick, basically.
Yeah, apparently Queen Victoria, being the prudish woman that she was for etiquette and presentation, decided that Prince Albert ought to pierce his genitals so that he could dress to one side so that no one could possibly see the shadow of his junk.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah.
How's she thinking so much about her son's-
Basically, he would pin his cock to the side of his leg.
Okay. I mean, personally, I wouldn't do that.
Okay, here we go. Wikipedia, and I'm skipping most of the other stuff on the article here. I'm just going down to the history and culture part because I don't need to look at the pictures. The origin of this piercing is unknown. Many theories suggest that the piercing was used to secure the penis in some manner, rather than having a sexual or cultural purpose. In modern times, the Prince Albert piercing was popularized by Jim Ward in the early 70s in West Hollywood. It doesn't really say why. Okay, there was a pamphlet that consorted fanciful histories of the genital piercing. The apocryphal tale, which included the notion that Albert, the prince consort, invented the piercing that shares his name in order to tame the appearance of his large penis in his tight trousers. And those are widely circulated as urban legends. No historical proof of this veracity has been located, independent of Malloy's assertions.
No, there's nothing to base it in.
No.
But that's why it's called that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that we learned something today. Speaking of learning, I was reading this article involving this physicist Brian Greene. Like it's crazy. Like he was commenting as a physicist that science has become politicized now. We got our current administration trying to stymie scientific progress, whether it's dealing in climate change or with the creationists with like evolution or sex ed or stuff like that.
Well,
And
hold on.
just,
Well, climate change will become politicized because there are people who say, okay, you have to do certain things to stop climate change. The problem is there's people out there who run industries where it's going to cost them money.
There's also the instances where you have a prime minister for 10 years who thinks that rainbows disprove climate change.
yeah, but here's the thing. All
Was
right,
that Harper? No, that's not Chrétien.
That was Harper.
That's Harper, yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to talk about science and politics, I mean,
And that's why we voted for Trudeau.
right. Okay. Well, let's review.
Fuck you, I didn't. I voted NDP.
Well, it's not Harper. Like I said, you didn't vote for Harper.
Yeah.
When you got China as a country working on plans to deal with climate change, we got these like hard working sneaky dudes like just doing that. I think it's time to like get serious. I think the facts do matter in this case. That's all I'm saying.
So what are you saying there, Wolf? China's trying to pump out more greenhouse gases to warm the earth so we get more rain so they can sell more umbrellas? That's the long game.
I saw an interesting fact on a BBC show called QI, where they basically broke down the carbon footprint of owning a dog. It's basically equivalent to that of driving an Escalade around town.
Really?
Yeah. Once you factor in how much, like what goes into making dog food and everything like that, and transportation.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like, we could dramatically cut back on climate change, contributions to climate change if we just got rid of all the dogs and all the cats.
Why don't we just stop driving Escalades?
Yeah, that was I
because
said,
think about it, you're driving the Escalade so you could take your dog to the dog walking park, and you might have 2 or 3 dogs. So right there, that's 4 Escalades.
Well, that was the bad thing about it was each individual dog, like a medium-sized to large-sized dog, is roughly that of an Escalade in carbon emissions annually. And I have 10.
Yeah.
And I have 2 little ones.
You're such a wicked person, Doctor.
I am. This is like, I can read all these off. How many vehicles am I allowed to have in replace of this?
No, you have to ride a bike.
Yeah.
And you're not permitted to fart. I'm sorry, the only way you're getting your carbon footprint back is by going full vegan.
I'm already vegetarian.
And growing your own vegetables.
Yeah, the only thing that prevents me from going full vegan is poutine. That's it.
Yeah. All right.
It's got gravy on it. That's an edible byproduct. I have to eat it.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to talk to you later.
All right, later, Pseudo. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if it's getting hotter, like with each year, just building up with the deforestation and just bringing in those like the CO2 and stuff like that. I'm just saying if we just get on with like India and China with what they're doing, just trying to reduce that emissions. I mean, it might help something for the environment.
Well,
maybe invest in some green technology or something.
The weird thing is that there are arguments against it, which is that the increase of CO2 emissions actually has led to the production of more trees within the boreal forest, which is entirely true. Except the forests don't actually counteract the effects of climate change. There's still a net positive in greenhouse gas emissions going into the atmosphere. So it's kind of a moot objection that people raise. Like, at this point, to deny that the climate is changing and to deny that, heat-trapping gases trap heat is absolutely insane. It's on par with being a flat earther.
Or a creationist. I mean, they just pick and choose the science they want to accept, so it fits well with their agenda.
Well, in the case of creationism, it's because they have this weird. Typically, they have a weird idea that global warming entails that the entire Earth will flood, and God promised that the Earth won't flood. No, it doesn't say that at all. There was no ice at the poles during the Cretaceous period. The entirety of the Earth wasn't flooded. So it really boils down to ignorance.
Yeah, they got these weird defenses and shit like that to try and muddy the waters and sidestep the issues. Like for example, they make that crazy claim. What was it? Like the Arctic Circle, like Antarctica's like ice is increasing, right? They make that claim. Like you heard of that, right, Doctor?
The claim is that the surface area of ice coverage of Antarctica is increasing. They take that to just simply mean that the total amount of ice is increasing, not the net amount. Just more areas covered, therefore there's more ice. When the actual case is that you're losing more ice from inland than you are gaining from the outland. So you have a net loss amount of ice. The ice sheets are still melting. They are increasing the water levels.
Yeah, and here's the thing: as the ice melts, it goes into the ocean, which reduces the salinity, and it just poisons, and it just makes it more uh, like it raises the freezing point of the water. I mean, it's not good for that. And also, if you look at the CO2 that's been absorbed by the ocean, it poisons like the fish and affects our food supply. But they just don't want to look into this. But see, that's why we need to work more on like improving science education, actually uh, investing in technology and stuff like that. If we're gonna keep making innovations and stuff like this.
Well, basic like a general understanding of science is very lacking in the United States, but it doesn't really even stop there. In most places, like in Canada, a lot of Canadians will say, like, oh, at least we're not the Americans. But most people here have no idea what the hell evolution is. Most people here have no idea what climate change is. They don't have any real robust understanding or even a cursory understanding of the various topics that ought to have been covered in school. So, yeah, we do need to have better science education, just better education in general across the board for all countries. Maybe the exception Norway and Finland because they're kind of overkill.
Yeah, they kind of already have that already.
Yeah,
So
and Japan, where it's like they basically beat that shit into you, or you're just a failure of society.
yeah,
They went the polar opposite of the Finnish route, where the Finnish route was they taught cooperation and people helping one another learn and understand various topics. Japan was you will all compete against one another, and the lowest ones will be the drugs of society. So win win win.
yeah. That's why they have that strive for perfection mindset. But yeah, more science literacy, more education. That system needs to be improved. If we're actually going to have people that'll deal with the issues of the real world as scholars and experts in their respective fields, actually, making breakthroughs that could actually improve the human condition. We need all that. We need more of that. Like fuck this winners and losers nonsense. Okay, Doctor dropped out again. All right, that's fine. I was actually going to talk about this article. Okay, okay, you're back.
Okay, my internet's acting screwy.
Hey, trust me, I know it could get nuts. I had to get a new cord because the other one for my laptop went out. I'm on my tablet right now, but that's irrelevant.
Well, regrettably, I'm gonna have to go and barbecue some vegetables right away. So
Oh, okay. Just stick around for this last article. I think this might be my last one for the
yeah,
hangout. But
I got about 10 minutes left, I think, before I throw stuff on. Then I can come back to whatever the hell is going on in G plus. But
all right, cool. So White House staffers are looking for exit strategies to avoid a scandal in the Trump administration. This is from Salon. Like apparently the issue with the like the whole blowback from Russia and his connects are they're not it's not a good situation, especially with his low approval scores and ratings. It's just it's not working, and the whole calling it fake news. It's not it's not defending itself as best as it can. So it's sort of it's in like the death throes. It's sort of going to the end game here.
yeah, well, the Trump administration, we actually have a pool right now in my office as to like what Trump is going to be impeached for. Like nobody's taking the bet that he's not going to be impeached. And a lot of us have it on treason that he will have allied himself and made deals with, contrary to the Constitution of America, with the Russian government. That seems obvious at this point.
Yeah, they're trying to analyze every which way and method they can to avoid this breakdown of the administration currently. And, I mean, especially in the wake of Comey being fired and stuff like that.
Well, that was just
And
dumb.
I mean, Comey revealed that he was getting like a lot of notes from a lot of conservatives that were allied with Trump, and the staffers at this point. I mean, they're saying, you know, they should just have diaries where they just ask themselves, how long are we gonna put up with that big old meanie Trump and all the bullshit that he's conspired to do in the in office. Yeah, but it's not looking too good. I don't know how he's gonna smooth talk his way out of this one.
Well, apparently he's already appointed a new head of the FBI.
I didn't hear about that.
Joe something. And JD just shared a post saying, "That's right, bitch. Bow. Bow to your new masters." And it's Trump bowing to like a Saudi prince.
That's funny.
That's a good post. But yeah, I'm gonna head off and ferret the barbecue. Talk to you later.
All right, later, man. Whew. Jeez. Anyway, what else do we have? Mm, let's see. Any other news about Islam? Do we or Trump, dumbass? Okay. I think we might just have it all squared away. Um, hang on one second. Oh yeah, so Trump is back to his old ways of it's weird. He said he wasn't going to engage in wars. He's going to take America away from that, but he's getting us involved once again. He's going to arm Syrian radicals. So there's that. He's actually going to exacerbate the problem by arming radicals to fight others. I believe allied with Assad, the current Assad regime. I'm not, I would be surprised, so being the fact that the Middle East is imploding right now, and us getting involved would kind of uh, be more of a problem for our national security rather than a benefit. But then again, that implies that there would be some facts or some substance with regard to his policies and decisions. But I guess that's sort of bankrupt when you're talking about the Trump administration. But that being said, I don't think I'm going to go too much in detail about it because it's been like what 50 or 60% Trump in this hangout. Uh, yeah, I'd like to see his speech on radical Islam, his response with that rhetoric, and how he's, for lack of a better term, fair and balanced in that regard. But yeah, this has been my hangout. This has been Wolf King again. Here is my my photo. Let me just. I'm glad I was able to get this on screen because all religions should be scrutinized. They can't all be right, but they can all be wrong. Shit. Allah Akbar, I am Muhammad, Allah's final prophet. Listen to me. Quran. Follow the 5 pillars of Islam while I go and slaughter innocents that don't believe the same way I do and have sex with their little daughters. Ah, Allah Snakbar. I love freedom of speech. That is the message of this hangout. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression. It matters. If people make claims, you hold them to them. No matter what method you hold it, as long as it's rational and intellectual, and it makes a point. Ah, boy. But anyway, that's my hangout. This has been Wolf King. Peace out. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like, fave, comment, wherever like. And with that, I will say, Sapaude dare to know, no gods, no masters, and hail Satan. Good night.